Hello, everybody. Welcome to TWibble or the Twibble Podcast. I am Lennon Simpson, joined by my co-host Cam Allison. How you doing?
Pretty good. What's up, y'all?
So, okay, so let's get into just the podcast in general. But I'm gonna start off with introductions for me and Cam. Gonna start off with, yeah, just 5 questions. We're gonna do years playing wiffle ball, years in Twibble, accolades, what got you into wiffle, and then favorite wiffle moments. Years I've been playing wiffle ball. I've been playing since my senior year, 2022. Not competitively per se. I had my own little leagues in my backyard with three of my friends, where I was the guy that did stats, and I tried to do like a social media, but there was no point in a 3-man league social media league, so quit that real quick. Years in Tool was my sophomore year. Um, Rookie year went, I would say, quite mediocre. I think I finished fourth in rookie year voting. I don't know. I just remember my teammate Atlanta Davidson getting second place. Um, Accolades, home run derby champ in MLW. That's basically all I can think of. I haven't won anything in Twibble yet. I could say my backyard league MVP, but that's not an accolade. Who or what got me into wiffle was just the competitive nature. Um, I had played baseball my whole life, and pretty sure Cam has played baseball as well. Um, what position did you play?
I was a PO when I played like men's league in college, but like first base,
Man, I wanted to get into
stuff like.
men's league for so long. I like experimented with men's league, but like I just couldn't find a team near me or close enough. Is it actually like competitive in men's leagues?
We were in a good one. The one I was like, I had no business being there. I threw like 70. Like they're like, you want to come pitch? I'm like, sure. And then they had me drive an hour and 30 minutes to come in and pitch when we were down 7. I'm like, this
Mm.
was stupid.
Man, I was also, well, from freshman to sophomore, I was the second baseman, and then junior to senior, I was a PO, and my accolade, or like in terms of just like accolades in terms of baseball, I had thrown one complete game shutout, which has a bit of an asterisk because we run ruled them in like the fifth inning, but I think I gave up like 2 hits. So I mean, maybe that's where the fast pitching comes from in wiffle. But I guess okay. So let's move on to you. Um, let's see. So how many years in wiffle?
I've been playing wiffle. I'm going into my 5th year of playing wiffle ball. It's also how many years I've been in the league. I haven't really played wiffle. I didn't play wiffle ball really at all until started playing in Twibble.
So your first experience was competitive. You didn't like play casually.
Not really, like maybe once in a while, but it was
Hmm.
rare.
Yeah. Okay, and then years in TWBL.
Yeah, same one.
Same
Just
one.
it's been 5, going into my 5th year. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to accolades.
yeah. I mean, not to flex on y'all too much, but last year as an All-Star captain, won an All-Star game MVP. Can't say Gage West has done that. The guy's not very good at wiffle ball, but whatever. I overrated in my opinion, but
The MVP is overrated.
say what I said, man.
Okay. Um, and then what got you into wiffle?
What got me into wiffle was actually a player on another team, Will Raines. I feel like most everyone should know him by now. He's a pitcher for the Blue Ballers. He was actually my baseball coach in high school, and I just remember like after a game or practice, he's like, "Play wiffle ball." So that was pretty much what it was. Will Raines just asked, and I'm like, "I'm down." I thought I was gonna play with Will Raines, and then he threw me on a random team, and that's a whole other story, though.
I was gonna ask if like because he asked you if you started out on this team because I mean from mouths around the league you've been a bit of a travelman.
Yeah, this is my third team in 5 years. Hopefully, it's my third
Ho-
team in for the rest of my life, but
Hopefully
we're
it
gonna
sticks.
we'll see what happens.
So wait, what? Who'd you play on first?
So there was a team that lasted probably 5 games. We were the original Vibes.
Mm.
It was a team of like people on that baseball team. Um, I don't think any like I think I remember playing a playoff game with like my sister's now fiance, and he like wasn't even on our team originally. Like it was just me and him. Like no one from my actual team. Like we had a showing up problem was really what it was. Yeah, that
Okay.
didn't last very long. Jack or the previous commissioner was like, "Yeah, like you can stay, but the rest of your team's got to go." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair."
Okay. Um, favorite Wiffle moment.
Favorite Wiffle moment? Oh, I lied by the way. This is my fourth team in 5th year because it was Vibes. I played for DX one year, and
Uh-huh.
then last 2 years Ballbusters. So now this is my fourth team.
Since it's
Anyway,
not live, I'll say it. Bugtown.
oh my gosh, I forgot
I
about
didn't
that.
want to interject, but we can edit Bugtown.
I'll re-answer that question. I forgot about that. Okay,
Just move back
yeah.
into it.
So
You're
I've
good.
actually played. So yeah, I've actually played for 5 teams because I played for Bugtown for the postseason one year.
Just the
So yeah,
postseason.
I played for the Vibes. It was just the post. It was a whole thing. Cut that. I actually cut that part out. I can't talk about that. This is my fifth team in 5 years. I played for the Vibes, who are no longer a team, DX, who wasn't a team for a little bit, Bugtown, who's not a team anymore, and then Ballbusters, who are no longer a team. So only one of the teams I've been playing on, or actually a current team in the league still. So hopefully this
Interesting.
can be my final resort. That's kind of
Just gotta hope that it
my
sticks,
hope
I guess, at
here.
this point. I
Praying,
think
man.
I think I forgot to do this or to answer this question, but we'll go to yours first because we're already there. Your favorite Wiffle moment.
So my favorite Wiffle moment, it's between one or two. Um, First one's got to be first one. I had a 4 home run game against the Turtles. Don't ask me the score of it; it doesn't matter. So don't ask me who the losing pitcher of that game was because it also doesn't matter. But that was pretty cool. And then the second coolest one was I threw a perfect game against Who's Your Daddy, and that was like I don't really pitch ever, so like it me being like one of the first perfect games was it was very not on anyone's bingo card, I can say.
I mean, whenever I saw that, you pitched a perfect game. I mean, I wasn't being new to the league. I wasn't like surprised because I saw you pitch like I think you pitched like once against my team. Before you threw that perfect game, and you were gross at that time, and I'm sure that carried on in that game as well. And then my favorite Wiffle moment was actually not a Twibble moment, but actually, I mean, I could being that you did too, I'll do too. My mine involves the ball busters. I hit my first home run in Twibble was against Skylar Burt on an inside knuckleball. So that hung, but I mean, it was a great feeling. And then my other one was another home run, but in MLW, where I hit a go ahead home run in the I think it was the fourth to send us to semifinals. No, not semifinals, quarterfinals, in which we got absolutely torched by walks. Okay, and then moving on into the next part, we'll be introducing our honorary guest, the commissioner of TWBL, Mr. Gage West. How you doing?
Hello. How are you guys? Happy to be here. Happy to be on this new show.
Yeah, um, happy to have you. It's great to have a moment like this. I mean, especially with how busy commissioners are. Because I know you've been up to a lot, especially recently with the months coming up to the Twibble season. But I'm gonna ask you the same 5 questions as we answered, starting with the years you've played Wiffle, the year count.
This will be year number 7 coming up. Started in COVID, 2020, and have been playing in Texas Wiffle Ball League since.
Was your first competitive experience in Twibble? as well?
First wiffle ball at all. Like, didn't even know
Really?
that a wiffle ball had holes on one side until that. Like, I just thought they were the
Oh, the little
plastic
hole.
balls that have the holes all over, and I
Yeah.
had like home run derby. And then my first game was fast pitch Texas Wiffle Ball League against like Jesse or Cooper or
Hmm.
something like that. It was
Oh, it used
something
to be fast
stupid.
pitch? I actually never knew that.
Yeah, yeah, it was. And Jesse and Cooper are not just fast pitch; they're fast pitch. Like it was like 100.
Jeez. Goodness. Was it the same distance or was the mound back more?
It was 48, so it's like how
Oh, okay.
traditional non-MLW fast pitch is. Like
And it was Big Bend.
PLW, any other UWIF, all their
Mm-hmm.
all those pitching distance are 48 feet.
Okay, yeah. Um, Years in Twibble, I'm 7, assuming, yeah. And then accolades, you've got quite a bit, especially just from coming from last year.
Yeah, I think it's a couple Gold Gloves, a couple Silver Sluggers, and then last year got an MVP. I don't think there's any other personal accolades. I don't think I'm popular enough to get an All-Star game captain. Cam's got me on that. So I've been an
um,
All-Star and a captain.
I mean, how many All Star appearances? Have you been All Star game all 7, or has there been 7 All Star games?
I I don't know if we had one in 2021. My first year, I was a replacement. Like I was in the game, but wasn't like officially
Mm-hmm.
voted. So assuming we've every All-Star game there's been when I've been in the league, I've been in it. Now whether I was in it by votes or by pity, I don't know.
By pity, that's insane. um, okay, going on to what got you into Wiffle.
It was so I started in COVID and most of the Chartles being Ben, Matt, Ian, and Henry all worked at the Rough Riders, and I did too. But me and a guy who used to also be on the Turtles, Billy Rose, worked in. They all worked grounds crew. We worked in a concession stand, and they came up to us one time because we went to high school together, and they said, "Hey, you want to join wiffle ball?" They more or less. I don't know if I was working that day or they asked Billy, and I got asked through Billy. Somehow or another, they asked Billy and I together, and we joined that year, and it just kind of went from there. Just nothing better to do during COVID, so we took that invitation.
Okay. And then going back into the last question, favorite Wiffle moment.
I think it's got to be the 2024 championship, winning that. Maybe specifically Matt's home run in that championship, but just winning that in general because the similar to like the Dodgers, where like you're the best team, but you can't like, win the championship. So there was that like relief that was like the
Mm-hmm.
pressure was over. We finally got over the mountaintop
Okay.
after all those years of supposedly being one of the favorites.
Mm-hmm. I mean, y'all are obviously the favorites going into this. I mean, y'all are on your from insider info. You're going for your third and a half in a row World Series championship.
Either third or fourth, depending on your definition.
Okay, so going into the non introduction segments, we're gonna open up talks, and I'm just gonna basically just give the whole floor to Gage West, and we're gonna be talking about the 2026 upcoming schedule and just the updates on that.
Yeah, so I've been having a few meetings, conversations back and forth with the city of Allen people to get us back at Spirit Park again this upcoming year because it seemed like everybody in the league liked it last year. It was a good fit, especially after Little Elm hiked up their prices as much as they did. Had to move out of Little Elm and ended up in, I think, a good place. Had a few conversations with them, like I said, and it seems like we've got at least the structure of things in place. Nothing is official, but I expect games to be on Wednesday nights again, same times like they were before. Um, the big change this year is I'm working on nothing confirmed again, but getting 2 more weeks added to the schedule. That'd be something really cool. I know I would really appreciate the opportunity to have 2 more weeks of wiffle ball, considering it's we play wiffle ball in the off season, but it's just like a tournament here and there, so it's not really as intense as it is during the actual season. So I've always wished we had a little bit longer of a season, so I'm excited to be able to have that potentially this year. And then other little tidbit I think is notable. I'm working on getting us out of the field that had the really bad sun in left field, so getting us in the field over by the park and by the big grass hill where sun shouldn't be an issue. But we'll see how any of that happens or what happens with any of that. Again, whenever things get official, I'll put some announcement. I'm probably going to send out another league memo here in a couple weeks to go over format, the survey that'll be coming out soon to get ideas for rule changes and whatnot. So I'll be collecting some input for some people shortly.
Man, so it's gonna be the same Wednesday. Man, I don't remember the time that we played, but um, it's gonna be everything pretty much the same. Especially format gonna be the same too, the tournament style.
That's going to be something that'll be in that survey. I anticipate it'll be tournaments again, given that in prior year survey, the tournament format won the vote probably something like 3/4 of it, like maybe about 70%. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was popular. So assuming that same sentiment holds, we'll be doing tournaments again. But if something changes, then we could pivot if needed.
I think the tournament formats. I think it's really cool. It's really unique because I don't think any other league does that. I remember coming in my first day and I drove maybe an hour because my commute's pretty lengthy, but I drove like an hour and whenever I got there I expected just like to play one game and then be like okay time to pack it up, but and then I think it was oh my goodness, I think it was Chris that had told me that we play 3 games a day, and I was just I was so confused because I was confused on how I mean because it made sense because with I guess scheduling and stuff like that, but I thought that was really cool. I think it makes the commute a lot easier whenever you play 3 games and it's not just like one game and then you just leave.
Yeah, I'm also a proponent of the tournament format, primarily because it gives everybody the chance to win something every week,
Mm-hmm.
rather than having the one winner at the end of the year. And obviously, that's what matters more. But for the teams that don't win at the end of the year, it's nice to have oh, we won this week. Like it's a good feeling when you do win that week.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like a point system? Have you ever thought about that, or is it has it always just been based off win loss record?
In terms of like the
Like
standings,
kind of like how hockey does it. I know some leagues do like a point system.
yeah, we do have our points are or our standings rather, I should say, are a point system. We've
Oh, really?
got yeah, I didn't make the system, so I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it's like 3 for a win, 2 for a total bases loss, and then 1 for a loss.
Oh, okay.
And like so theoretically,
Mm-hmm.
you could have a team lose in the championship against second and have less points than the team that won third because maybe there was a total bases loss in there. That happened, I think it actually happened to you, Cam. Your first week last year, I think you guys ended up in second in the standings, even though the first championship was Blue Ballers Turtles because the Blue Ballers lost and you lost on total bases, maybe something like that.
I know we were top three like for the first week of last year. I don't really remember much about it.
Okay, and then I'll go into or well I'll also just kind of drag it on for the schedule and talk about what the expectations for playoffs will be.
So what we were supposed to have last year, what the people voted on was to do playoff series. So 3 days worth of playoff. We would have 3 rounds, just like you would have an Elite Eight, because we've got 8 teams. So Elite Eight, Final Four, championship. That ended up not happening because of scheduling issues that the City of Allen changed on us. The days we were available due to some rainouts with softball, but this year, making sure we have those dates set in stone, and if the league decides to do tournaments or not tournaments, sorry, playoff series, then we have that option at our disposal. If we want to do a College World Series style again, like we did last year and how we historically do, that can also be done, but we'll have more days to do it.
Okay. Have we? Because last year it was a case where everybody made it. So is that changing this year, or is it still is it still gonna be even? Is it still gonna be where everybody makes it into playoffs?
I imagine so. Now, I've gotten some requests to do a play-in tournament. I think a play-in tournament
I like
with
that.
8 teams
Mhm.
isn't the best because in that case you're trying to whittle things down to four, or I guess six, and maybe you have a bye. But so my feeling on that is if we get to 10 teams maybe next year or the year after, at that point a play-in would make more sense. The single elimination play-in to get from 10 to 8, where 6 through 10 would participate in that play-in. But as of now, I anticipate everybody making it. Again, all these answers are subject to what the league wants in that survey because how I like to run it and how the league's been run even before I was at the helm of it was the league is really for the players in it, and so it's not unilaterally my decision and kind of want to go with what the league wants.
So we've talked about schedule and we've done a bit of introduction. So we're gonna go into a bit more of the podcast part where it's more just talking over league news and other things like that. So we're gonna start with something quite bigger. And both I think both these next two involve someone on this people on this podcast currently. But we're gonna start with the Ballbusters disbanding. So Cam, you were on that team, so I mean just asking like what happened, I guess, and just like what led up to the decision.
Yeah, kind of what happened was at the start of last year, we had, I'd say, a really solid group of four guys. And legit, I think either opening day or the day before opening day, one of the guys couldn't make it. So now we're down to three. So then we got two more free agents at that point. So it's like, okay, we're back up to five now. Well, those guys weren't very, they off record. Let me read those guys. So yeah, we added two new guys, and for that I don't know if they didn't like it or what, because I missed 1 week, and that was the week I missed. So just they're no longer wanting to play anymore. But then we got three guys, and then we ended up adding Jesse's son, making it four. And while all this is going on, we get the news that Zach is moving to Florida next year. So the Ballbusters' final year, aka last year, was just a mess. It was a lot of running around, trying to figure something out, trying to figure out who's going to be at games. We had weeks where we're playing with three guys. It was just kind of a mess last year because this stuff happens. It is what it is. Mm. I think I think around week six, I want to say I reached out to Skylar. I'm just like, it's been something that's been on my mind since I entered the league. I'm like, I want to play with people my age, which I enjoyed playing with the ball busters. Like I learned a lot from Skylar. I learned a lot from Zach. They're great guys to play with. Definitely phenomenal ball players. But I just kind of got to the point where like I'm in college. I kind of realized I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do this after college. I kind of want to do like, I kind of want to play with guys like who are around that college age. And then but yeah, it just kind of got disbanded just because, you know, we couldn't really find more people who wanted to play, and then Zach moving to Florida, it made it really hard.
Yeah, I mean y'all played for only I think just like three people on y'all's roster consistently. I mean y'all played well, or no, it was four people consistently. I guess if you yeah, because it was you, Skylar, Zach, and then Parker. So I mean some weeks it was three. Um, yeah, I mean y'all played really well for only 3 to 4 guys ish, and some with how much I guess y'all went through that season. Y'all had a bunch of solid players, so I guess that was kind of good to surround yourself with. Um, and then I wanted to go into, I guess, Gage's as a commissioner point of view of the team. Um, like, just was it expected league round, and how the I guess how the league kind of handled um, I guess the departure of Ballbusters.
Yeah, I knew about it because I did a few podcasts with Skylar and Zach last year, so I heard about Zach's plans to leave for Florida pretty early on. In terms of the league as a whole, I don't pretty much most years we lose a team in some form of fashion, whether it's they just end up not coming back and it's like, oh, well, their attendance was shoddy anyway, so what are you going to do? Or if it's, I guess this is the first like more established team, relatively speaking, that has left that I can think of in my 6 years playing. But regardless, it is not the first year we've had to find a new team to fill in. So from that standpoint, it obviously is less than ideal to have to fill a team spot, but it's not super uncommon.
Yeah. Okay. And then going into where they ended up. So the roster consisted of Camden Allison, Skylar Burt, Parker Palmore, and Zach Bird. So we're actually going to start off with Zach Bird, obviously leaving, and then we got Parker, which has said to be maybe joining DX, but is not confirmed to. I mean, I guess Gage would know a bit more about Parker's stance on everything. So, I mean, you can talk for Paul or Parker about
I
that.
know it's a baseball situation. Given that DX has lost a couple guys, I think they would like Parker to be there if he is available, just to kind of be an able player that can fill a spot in the as a fielder and a hitter too. And quite frankly, we haven't really seen it in the league because I don't know how much he was allowed to pitch last year, but he pitched in a scrimmage against the Turtles before, and it was pretty good. And this was like 2 years ago, and he was like 10 years old. So he could also pitch too if DX needs him. Regardless, I don't really know how likely it is that he will be playing this year, especially now that he's getting older in baseball. I've heard that it's less likely that he'll be playing this year.
Okay. So it's likely that two of the Ballbusters are moving on, or Parker maybe playing part time. Skylar Burt showing up as a Cosby Show player, signing with the Cosby Show. I think it was really early in the off season when he signed, but that wasn't too much of a surprise, at least to me. I guess I mean, Cam, give your opinions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, it's like college football NIL. The second our coaches leave and we were on the portal pretty much. I think this the night I told Skylar he had probably talked to Cosby either the next day or the next week, and they're like, I mean, of course they're gonna bring him in. He's a great arm, he's a great bat, lefty to the lineup. Yeah, it was pretty soon after. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I signed with Cosby. I'm like, yeah, that's it's gonna be a good team next year. They're already a good team, but
Yeah.
even better next year.
Yeah. I mean, Skylar, yeah, like I said, Skylar signing with Cosby wasn't too much of a shock, at least to me. But I think it was them. Did they come out? They put out like their own like signing video, didn't they? And so did, I mean, we'll talk about yours in a second. But like, they put out their own like signing video, and I think it was him signing a paper at like a coffee shop or something, if I remember. Was that it?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
think it was like his I don't even remember. I just remember they were at a right. I saw the picture like them at a Riders game, and then like the next thing I see is a little napkin signed. I'm like,
Uh, it was a
that is
it was a spoof on the Rooks one, and Skylar was signing a cookie in the Rough Riders like suite. Like the cookie was the piece of paper, and he was using a knife.
I mean, was not paying attention. I can't lie.
Okay, and then we're gonna move on to your signing, Cam. I'll just kind of comment on it a little bit. Cam to the Rooks, which I'll talk about the monsters a bit later, but I will say this move was heartbreaking for me because I I saw I saw Ballbusters um disbanding. I was like, man, like once Cookie Monster starts like being a team, maybe if he's still available, I'll like message and like see. And then I saw that, and a tear might have shed that day. I won't lie. So, I mean, you can comment. Say your end, and I'll ask a bit of questions after as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say too much, but the second I had said something, I'd gotten a message pretty fast from Racer Radkey about joining the or did I message? I don't remember. I remember me and Race were in talks very, very quickly afterwards.
So were y'all like was this decision like towards like maybe more playoffs in the middle of the season, or was it just right after the season ended?
I think this definitely had to been either early playoffs or like last couple weeks of the season.
Okay.
Um, I just remember like, kind of like I mentioned earlier, players leaving, free agents leaving, like just the whole situation of it's just a tough situation for like, everyone there because it was pretty much me, Skylar, trying to make sure we could find guys, and I got to a point where I'm just like, all right, I don't want to try to do this stuff. Like he was doing most of it, but I was like, I don't really even want to try to like find players because I was having to ask my friends sometimes. Um, but yeah, it was probably in the later half of the season where I was just like, we were both like kind of over it. It just kind of happened that way. Cookie
Yeah.
crumbles that way.
Yeah. I mean, oh my goodness, I had a question, but I think oh no, just with you joining the Rooks, I mean they made the postseason last year, made the or not made the postseason, made the world. Oh my gosh, cut this out. They made the World Series last year. Um, was that did that add does that did that make the yes just 10 times quicker? Just being able to build on an already pretty solid team with a really solid just depth.
Oh, of course, yeah. As much as I love the Turtles, I don't want to see them win every single year. We got to find a balance, dude. Like the Avengers beat Thanos, dude. Like someone's got to take Gage West down. So I think a part of that was that it also helped that they're already very built. As some of y'all know, I'm a terrible fielder, and Race pretty much said off the rip, he's like, "You don't have to play the field." I'm like, "Okay, I'm in." So yeah, like it really does help a lot that that is one of the better teams in the league, one of the premier teams in the league. So
Will
yeah, it's
oh
just
sorry.
it feels good.
No, you go ahead.
It feels great to join a great organization. So I just it was an easy decision.
Yeah. I mean, will how will your innings look? Like, have you gotten any words on like if you're gonna be seen pitching a bit?
Um, Not as much for sure. They already have two of the better pitchers in the league,
Mm-hmm.
and Race and a potential Cy Young candidate in Tate Stewart. I don't expect to pitch very much. I don't feel the need to pitch very much. Last year I just did because I was the second option. But pitching or not pitching, it doesn't really bother me. At the end of the day, I'm here to win games. I'm not here to like, wherever you need me, I'll be. And that's just I'm here to compete. Um, as simply put as that.
I mean, your stats really stacked up last year with Ball Busters. I mean, I'm sure it was a really easy decision for the Rooks as well. But what are you most excited for as a Rook?
Um, Obviously the competitive nature of this team, they're very good. They've proven that. But I think at the end of the day, it's the fact that I'm playing with a lot of guys my age, with Race and Jackson both being probably mid 20s, and then Brian and Tate being just a year younger than me. I think they're both 20 or 19. So it's just the fact of it's like, all right, I don't know how many years left I have a Wiffle. Obviously, want to go play for a good team, but I want to play with some guys who are my age. Like I've hung out with Tate, I've hung out with Brian. Actually, there was a different This was a big part of it too. There was another wiffle ball league that me and Gage, mainly Gage, but he asked me to help a couple times, called the Gauntlet, and don't wanna say anything too much, but we actually beat the Turtles, and it was pretty much me, the Rooks, and Will Raines. So I just anything to see the Flying Turtles lose, bro. I'm gonna try it.
Seems like the league is. I mean, to be fair, we were our first tournament as an official team. We beat the Turtles at MLW, and then I mean we were. I think the talk beforehand was just because we had originally thought they were gonna put out Connor, and he was just gonna be throwing 100 at our head. So we had prepped that, and then they didn't, and I think that game was still really. It was 2-1. What was? Do you remember your final score for?
I'm thinking.
Uh,
Hmm?
for the Gauntlet,
Yeah.
I don't remember. Gage, you by chance, do you remember the score?
It was a 3-game series, so I don't really
Oh,
remember
oh, it was a 3-game
what.
series. So you won the You won
Yeah,
the series, or you won a game.
I think we won the first. No, we won the first, lost the second, won the third.
Oh, okay.
I think they were all games two and
Maybe we
three. I
just won
think
the
were
first two.
blowouts. No, no, we definitely it was like
Right, won the second one.
post one blowout, blowout.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. 'Cause I remember. I don't remember. I remember, but I'm gonna say I don't remember for the sake of this. I don't remember who was pitching the first, but I think we got him out of there. I think he let up 7 in the first, and then he let up a lot in the first. I remember that, and then we got him out of there pretty quick, and Tate and Race both kind of shut it down.
Nice. Okay. Moving on to the new team, my team. But I'll kind of announce this myself almost. Just the introduction of the new team, the Cookie Monsters, which this team it was introduced in 2025 when we played an MLW game just for fun. We had 4 guys. Yeah, we had 4 guys, 2 of which have no interest in Wiffle. Had no interest in Wiffle. They just wanted to be on the Rangers field. But I mean, they participated well. I think we played pretty well that first game. But I remember, or not the first game, the first tournament. But when me and Landon got introduced to Twibble, we had joined, and we got put on with an easy, which the tenure there was nice. I mean, it was a learning experience. It was definitely fun to grow and learn with guys like Chris and Brandon, and they definitely made it easier to like fit in and learn the league. And with the veteran experience, they kind of taught me the rules, and it was a really nice place. And the my years there were counted 1, so very small and very quick. But I do appreciate everything that With Name Easy has done for me. But going into the signings, or not signings, but more moving. I don't know what you'd really call this because when it's fine. But Landon Simpson from Wiffle Easy to Cookie Monsters, as well as Landon Davidson and Zach Torres. All 3 were rookies last year. Landon Davidson, second place in Rookie of the Year voting last year. Zach Torres was a solid rookie last year that I wanted on the team. I thought I loved his lefty swing, and I love how his approach looks, and I think he could definitely work better in our offense type, especially with our rookies, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I mean, I love this team, and I think that it's gonna be a great first year. I think there will be some growing pains as a new team, especially with a whole different atmosphere. But I think it'll be fun. But yeah, Cam, if you have any comments or questions, go on ahead.
Yeah, what kind of made y'all decide to kind of start this new, I guess, organization in a way? Because I know y'all said y'all had some previous experience with these guys, but what was the decision for the move, reason for the move?
Yeah, so during the off season, me and Landon, I would say Landon's more of the co-captain as well. Officially, I'm captain, but Landon has had his own fair share of operations within what we've done. But the main decision came down to what our goal was originally, which was to win. Which I love. I don't want this to seem bad on Garrett and all of them, but I just didn't see my spot there staying much longer. And I think they're gonna be great competitors next year. I think Garrett in specific as well with how well he did last year. And just to add on to that, I mean, oh my goodness, Brandon and Chris aren't bad players at all either. I think that they're pretty solid. They're gonna be a pretty solid team. But I think our move here started from from our original spot, which was the MLW tournament, which going into that off season, we were like, we just want to make our own team. We wanted to start fresh, especially with some of our guys that we've had outside of Twibble, some friends that played wiffle ball, and we just wanted to have a whole other atmosphere. And we already had a name. I mean, we already made the team back in 2025 with the Josh Young tournament. So it was just a matter of transitioning it over to Twibble and making it a bit more serious than just a pastime.
Then I have another kind of question for y'all. Do y'all believe y'all could win it all this year, or do you think you're kind of a year away from a year, if you don't mind me asking that question?
You know, I think we're gonna be a competitive team. I am really excited about the rookies that we have. Granted, I see myself as a pretty solid rookie, and I kind of struggled last year, especially just starting out. So I think there are going to be growing pains within it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and name drop. We have Joshua Bishops, we have Logan Wurzbach, we have ooh, yeah, Dylan Hightower, I think it is. But I think out of those three, Logan and Josh, which have joined us in the MLW and BLW tournaments, they look exciting. I think their bats are definitely going to benefit us, and I think we'll be a really offensive team. I don't necessarily. We just don't have the pitching depth. I think that's the one thing that's going to kind of separate us from a championship team and a just and a average team, I guess. It's going to be the pitching depth. Landon did well last year, I mean, especially to start, and more specifically because as people saw him later in the season, he just kind of started to die down a little bit, kind of got off his hot streak. He always talks about how he held the Turtles to a run. I think he's brought that up like 8 times, and it just anytime somebody questions his pitching authority, I guess he just brings up that game. And I mean, I think we're gonna lean on Landon a bit. I think in kind of referencing Skylar Burt's podcast, Sip and Copy of Burt, Gage West was on there, and he talked. I think it was him that talked about, or no, it wasn't him that talked about. I think there was just an award overall. It was the Workhorse Award. Was that correct, Gage? Was that what it was called?
The yeah,
I think it was just the
yes,
Workhorse Award. Yeah, I think.
yes it was.
Yeah, okay. I think Landon is a very strong contender for that because I think, unfortunately, I mean, unless I think our two other guys that we have that we can pitch out there confidently somewhat and like think that they're maybe gonna get like a couple is me, and I think Josh can settle in a bit. He he pitched. He's been switching his pitching a lot. He went from, I mean, obviously the fast pitch BLW and MLW, but even in BLW he like slowed it down a ton because he just had a huge issue with command, just wasn't able to find the zone a lot. But he made the adjustment and basically was pitching Twibble pitches in BLW, which has no limit. So he looked fine. I think that's his biggest flaw though is in pitching is his consistency to hit the zone, which in Twibble, consistent consistency hitting the zone is probably one of the biggest things that's going to make you a good pitcher is just pitching strikes. So that's something he's got to work on. But other than that, I'm excited about this team. I definitely think we as a collective group, or not a collective group, Josh has predicted that we're going to win it all. He said that he's confident that, and he said the Turtles are overrated. Quoted Josh, and then I I think standings wise we're gonna be at least, I think I'm predicting 5-4. I don't want to speak too early. I don't want to go and say like top three, if but I think we're at least in a good mid range.
Feels pretty humble. Gotta respect that. And then Gage, I kind of have a question for you actually. You being the commissioner of the league, how does adding this, how do you feel about the new team? How do you feel about this new team coming into the league?
I'm excited for it, especially because their commitment level definitely doesn't seem to be in question whatsoever. So just it's always good to have a long-term fixture in the league. As new teams come and go, even think about Whiffing and Easy last year. Like it just never really felt like that was a long-term solution because it was a hodgepodge of the bad case of Whiffless people who we just imagined were going to go back to Whiffless when the whole team returned, and then some rookies too. So to have the rookies still stay on and make their own team and be as invested in the league as they are, that's really great. And so I'm looking forward to having them around for a long time, hopefully.
And I know like the league has talked about this a lot, kind of, making the skill gap as close as possible. Do you believe this is a move that does that?
Absolutely. I think just the baseline talent is there. I know you asked the question earlier about like how close are they? Well, even if they're not there this year, they're making strides, they're getting better, and that experience will help you in the next year. So I firmly believe they'll be competitive before too long.
Okay. Um, I mean, just to end this segment, I'm just gonna add on a little bit more, just on um, expectations. I guess for this season, or I guess in just upcoming season in general. I do think that we're committed. One of the more committed leagues, especially with um, I think one thing this league has lacked is social media presence. Which, granted, it's not very important, but I think Cookie Monsters have kind of attacked that, and I've been kind of working on the social media for a while, as well as we're supposed to be getting. This isn't confirmed yet, so don't quote me on this. But we're supposed to be getting a team photographer that's a friend, and she's gonna be taking pictures of the league as well. And I'm hoping for some better quality because I know y'all had 1 week where y'all had a photographer. I think you said who was it again?
Tate's girlfriend's a
Tate's.
professional photographer, so
Yeah.
we hired her for a week.
Okay. Yeah. Um. But yeah, those pictures. I hate that that was I think the 1 week in the whole season after we had joined that I missed, and Landon had sent me the pictures of I think I was at Disney that week, and so he sent me the pictures, and and I was like, man, of course the 1 week is the week that they do professional photos, but I thought those pictures turned out great. But this person was a friend. We used to work at I don't know if you've heard of this team, but the Cleveland Railroaders. They were part of the American Association. But yeah, we worked there and we met her there, and she's kind of she has really good pictures and videos. So I'm hoping that she can join us for a couple weeks. But yeah, moving on to some league news involving the Turtles as well. Starting off with I guess this is gonna be more of Gage's segment as well, but because being that you're a part of the Turtles, of course. So the heartbreaking news of Ben Lee retiring. Just overall takes on that.
Yeah, from a league perspective, and like we're an organic team, so we're all like a friend group, and so you don't want your friend to move away, but it happened. So we're sad to be losing him, especially and from like a wiffle ball perspective. I mean, how good of a offensive player he is. So it'll hurt us from a team perspective, but we're hoping that we can make up for it by making our own internal improvements and better year offensively from Connor and Nolan. I think could help do that, but when you lose a guy who has like a 190 OPS plus or whatever he has, that's you don't just replace that.
Yeah. I mean, how is the lineup gonna be affected?
Ben last year hit third for us, so we imagine we're just going to slide everybody up one,
Mm-hmm.
just have Ian and me, and then scooch everybody else up one slot. But the common sentiment I always heard is, "Oh, you get through Ian and Gage, and it's not over. It's worse sometimes." So that won't be as um awful of a lineup to pitch through. You'll have a little more confidence going through it, but the hope is that, you know, maybe we lose a player, but now the rest of us get more at bats, and so now you're seeing me and Ian more often too. Connor and Nolan take a step, like I said. So that's the hope. But obviously replacing Ben won't be easy to do. And this is 2 years in a row with us taking major hits. We lost Henry 2 years ago. We lost Ben this year. So the Turtles are running out of people to lose.
Yeah. Um.
Let me just
Okay.
real quick. I don't think y'all understand. The last time I saw Nolan, he was dialed. So like I think, you know, early most improved player of the year, dude. I've got my eye on Nolan. I want to throw that out there. I know Ben sucks losing Ben, but I we might see a big year from Nolan.
He has been dipping his toes in the hitting lab. It's true.
So what's your views on it, Cam? I guess overall.
Um, I mean anything to make the Turtles worse, you know. But honestly though, I will say just from a person point of view, I love seeing Ben out there. So it just, like sometimes you just go to the wiffle ball field, you just enjoy seeing your guys. So it will suck not seeing Ben out there anymore, but no, from a competitive perspective, like, you know, being that retire, you're not too mad about it. But no, I wish Ben the best. I hope his career takes off. Maybe he makes a guest appearance. Is that a possibility, Mr. West?
Sure. I don't know if that's happening, but if he's in town, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gage as the captain of the Flying Turtles, is he getting a jersey or a number retirement?
I mean, yeah, we're not hurting for numbers at all. There's only six of us in the program. So yeah, we can have his number retired and nobody can wear 12 again. And if somebody wants a number, well, there's about 90 other ones they can choose from.
So if someone new comes in wants 12, you're just gonna no.
Yeah, we can. It wasn't official either, but we can retire. I believe Henry was number nine. We can retire number nine too. So
Okay, so that,
9 and 12 are up in the
heard,
rafters.
heard it from Gage. Put the graphic out. Put it up on the rafters. Why don't you? We need like banners in the outfield that we hang up every time. Okay, and then okay, let's see. Let's go. Let's stay with league news, and then we'll talk a bit more about the Turtles in a second. But I want to talk about, as I mean, you said his name earlier, Will Raines, his injury. I talked with him a little bit during BLW because he was there to, I think, take photos and do some media stuff, and he had explained about his arm injury. And to be honest, when I first saw the news, when I first saw the graphic, I was like, this got to be like a joke. Like it's got to be fake or something. There's no way. But yeah, it's pretty devastating, and I think the blue ballers are gonna really have to kind of. It's gonna be a testament of their depth for sure. I guess Cam add on.
I mean, yeah, just we'll say. Last year I think I hit 143 against Will, so kind of in the bin lead. I'm not mad that he's not pitching against me anymore. But again, from a person's perspective, I guess like he's cool or whatever. He's a good fucking guy.
Oh, I don't think I ever
No, but I
thought
hope
of
he's
him
still out
bad.
there. He's disgusting. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know if he's actually disgusting, but in my eyes, he's my like Randy Johnson, dude. Like I cannot hit that dude.
Dude, because I played in last year, I played blue ballers once, and I didn't. I mean, obviously on Wiffle ain't easy. You're not. I mean, we were the bottom team. You're not gonna play your best pitchers against us, especially with two more games to go. So I mean, I hadn't seen. I remember seeing his bat, and I remember that was one thing that people talked about was the blue ballers struggling with offense, but they were demons on the mound apparently. Um, Jack Hoving will be, I feel like a big arm for them with Will Rains out. Um, I think said in the podcast that Gage was on, the Sip and Coffee with Bert. Um, oh my goodness, I think Hoving's gonna be a workhorse for the Blue Ballers because he kind of I don't quite know much about their depth, but I just know. I mean, when you have a guy that has a Cy Young under their belt, I mean, how can you pitch anybody else in like critical games? So I mean, Gage, what's your thoughts on it?
Just from a person standpoint, you don't want Will to be going under the knife, missing the season, all that stuff. So unfortunate that he's not going to be here this year, but you know, at least it doesn't sound like it's a terrible injury. Like, I didn't even know it was hurting him that bad, and he so maybe it got worse throughout the season, but he pitched fine last year. Hopefully, it's nothing major, and he'll end up coming back to wiffle ball when he returns. And I've heard rumblings that it'll even be this year. So I'm hoping that's true.
Yeah. I want to quickly. I mean, this is our last main segment, but talking a bit on the rookies, confirmed rookies of this season, real quick. It's all Cookie Monsters. It's gonna be Joshua Bishops, Logan Wurzbach, and Dylan Hightower. Before I say my opinions, because I've already talked a lot about them, I wanna get Gage's opinions because he's seen two of the three.
Yeah, the only one I've seen in like an extended capacity is Josh, because Logan was just hitting here and there in fast pitch, and the fast pitch short games you only get like two at bats a game. So, but I have seen Josh a bit more, especially because he's come out to the off-season events a couple of times. Very excited to have him. I'm excited to have Logan too, for that matter, and Dylan. But at least what I've seen from Josh and Logan, they seem like they'll be great additions to the league. Now it's just it is what it is when you're a rookie in wiffle ball. Like it's hard when you start. It's you're not used to a drop ball. It's very hard to figure out where you got to swing for that. So that learning curve will come. They'll get over that, and I'm thinking they'll be great players.
Yeah. So I mean, Cam, you haven't seen any of the rookies, but I guess you can add extra comments onto the question. But I want to just, do you have any messages for the new rookies?
Uh, I'd say just don't take year one to heart. At the end of the day, like this is there's some pitchers who it's like that's insane. Like even when I see like Jesse and Matt today, I'm still like, yeah, this guy's good. I don't take year one to heart too much. Like, that's just kind of your base point. At the end of the day, like you're gonna get better. They might be better than me anyways. I don't really know. But it really just depends. Like I wouldn't take anything like, just go out there, have fun, don't put too much stress on yourself. Like, go win a couple games, go hit a couple homers, like just go have fun.
I guess this is a question for both of you, but I'm gonna start with Cam. If you would have one piece of advice for these rookies, other than I guess the season one jitters, what would you give them as a person who's played a couple of years?
Advice. Um, Go take lessons with Gage West. Go to Gage West's hitting lab. He charges like $80 an hour. Completely worth it. That's what I did. But yeah, I'd no, but go find some guys who like have experience from the league. Go talk to them. Most everyone's a chill. Like most everyone's chill. Like I remember last year I asked Jack how to throw a pitch. I didn't master it or anything, but like I have it to the arsenal for a while. I've been just hitting with Gage. Like most of these guys want to help you. At the end of the day, they're here to have fun. They want to make the league more competitive. So just go ask some guys around like who do have experience for some help.
Okay, and then same question to Gage.
Yeah, like Cam said, nobody is really trying to be anything but helpful. Like this league doesn't really matter for anything besides having fun in the grand scheme of things, so everybody's willing to help out. I am, and beyond that, like if you aren't great the first year, who cares? Like it doesn't really matter. In terms of wiffle ball itself, advice from that standpoint, it would be pitch recognition is the hardest hurdle to get over. And then once you get over that, you can actually how good your swing is will matter. You can have let your athleticism take over, stuff like that. But to get over that pitch hurdle or that recognition of that hurdle of pitch recognition, it just takes reps. So if you have the opportunity, any new player, to practice, if you want to be a good hitter, you got to practice. You got to figure out, all right, if the drop ball starts here, it'll be a strike. If it's not, it'll be a ball, screwball, riser, all those things. You got to know where pitches have to start. Beyond that, if you want to be a pitcher, that'll take the same thing because it's throwing a whiff ball is not like a baseball. We're also throwing at 60 miles an hour, so you got to kind of learn how to regulate your mechanics to not go full speed. So with anything, I think it is just repetitions, and I think the turtles are a good representation of that. Is for last few years before this one, we would get like teased about practicing and all that stuff, but I think it's really what made us the team we are. Like I don't necessarily think we're ridiculously talented. I feel like we're more of a developmental success story than anything else, and that came with putting in the hours to practice. So if it's something you're passionate about, is playing wiffle ball, then put in the hours. But again, it's for fun. So if it's something you're not really that interested in committing a lot of time to, oh, and you can just come out there and treat it like a rec softball league or anything like that. You kind of choose your own adventure with the Texas Wiffle Ball League, but if you want to be competitive, it just takes repetitions.
Yeah, I mean, talking about practice, um, Cookie Monsters have been practicing quite a bit. We practice, I think it's at this point every other Wednesday. It's kind of fluctuated. It's been every other Wednesday or every other Saturday. But yeah, I think if I were to comment on just these three rookies, and then I'll let Gage kind of talk about some other potential rookies in a little bit. But talking about just I guess each guy and their expectations. Not trying to make it too long. Um, Joshua Bishops, he's played a while. He started with us back in 2022. He was the other guy in the league. It was me, Lennon, and him. I think he's definitely going to surprise a lot of people. He's supposed to be in. He's supposed to go to that. I think Skylar's having like a spring training tournament thing. He's going to that, so he'll get. I'm hoping that hopefully using that game for them to kind of see some Twibble pitching, and but Josh, I think he's definitely gonna be an offensive weapon, and once he figures out pitching, I think he'll also be really solid at that. Um, and then Logan, he's newer. He started with us in MLW. He was kind of just a guy um, that messaged us during I think closer to the time of MLW, and he had said that he was interested in wanting to play because I think Landon Davidson said he wasn't able to make it, but ended up making it. So we added him, and he played really well in MLW, and kind of struggled in BLW. So that's really the only things that we've really seen from Logan. And I had like one practice with him, but overall he seems really solid, really bat heavy, really glove heavy. Has I think if we're talking potential awards, which I'm probably not gonna say is for my prediction in term later on, in other episodes in terms of award predictions, but Joshua Bishops is definitely a guy that could win a Gold Glove in his rookie season. So could Logan. But I remember I was going through the footage of MLW, and I think Josh or Logan made a play, and I hear Gage in the background go, "What happened to the error monsters?" That was the most hilarious thing to go look back to, and yeah, he made a diving catch. Joshua Bishops made a diving catch in the game we lost like 10-0. But I think those two are going to be really solid. Dylan's our biggest question mark. But I definitely think he's a lefty, so hope, and we're trying to develop him into a pitcher. So hopefully we can have another lefty as a pitcher. Zach is a lefty, but um, he's definitely right now just a hitter. Hope maybe we develop him into a pitcher, but right now he's a hitter, and I think Dylan's just going to be a hitter for a while we develop his pitching a bit. Um, but yeah, I think all three of these guys have. I think whenever it comes down to rookie of the year voting, there's a top five, and I think they're gonna take up three of those spots. So yeah. Gage, you wanna say anything? Or well, actually, I'll go to I guess Cam, and just what you what's your overall thoughts, and then you can bring it over to Gage.
Again, I haven't really seen any of them play, so like my takes aren't don't really mean much. But I don't know if we even have any other rookies. So if that's the case, they'll definitely be all be up there. No, it'll be fun to see though. I'm all for bringing more competitive people into the league, so I'm very interested to see what happens.
Okay, and then Gage, you have any or what have you seen I guess more of the question is what you've seen at PR2s, and if there's any other potential rookies that you've seen.
In general, league as a whole, haven't seen anybody that seems like they're absolutely going to be joining yet. I think we've had a weird situation this year where the amount of effort I've put in feels like it's been more than ever in the 4 years I've been doing free agency, and the output that is produced in successful free agency has been the lowest. So I've got to get creative to fix this inverse relationship of just doing more of the same thing, because the old tactics of just making Instagram posts and DMing people haven't yielded as many signups as we used to before. So I'm thinking through different ways to do that creatively. The good news, however, is that we aren't really in need of a whole lot of free agents, so we can afford to be picky. Whereas in previous years, we could not afford to be picky, and we've never even had a formal like tryout system. So I'm hoping to be able to have a little bit more like, all right, we got to come see you before anything. Whereas every other year, we've just let whoever in, and sometimes that's how you end up with the people who realize, oh, Wiffle isn't what I thought it was. This is way harder than I thought it was. After 2 weeks, I'm quitting. And I think that's the biggest um, obstacle to get through with new free agents is not necessarily making sure they're a fit in talent level, because everybody's going to get better. It's a new sport. I don't really care where you start at with your baseline. But the hope is at least you'll have an expectation of what wiffle ball is if you come out to a practice, tryout, whatever you want to call it. And then you can go into the season committed, willing to get better, all that stuff. And I think that's how you find good commitments, good players for to be in the league long term.
Okay. I mean, without name dropping, has there been anybody that's kind of, I guess, surprised you, or has it all just been kind of inconclusive? I guess you could say.
Mostly inconclusive. The guys that I'm most excited about are ones that we haven't been able to get to PR2 yet to see in person. I actually had a conversation with one of the guys who I was my second most preferable free agent if I had to choose people I wanted to join the league, and he actually broke his ankle recently. So his availability for the season, he said, is up in the air, and he'll send me a text in another month and tell me how it's going. I say that to say the actual like super promising ones haven't come to fruition, so that's why I'm having to get more creative with different ways to get signups, whether it's encouraging more people to do friend of a friend kind of thing, because if you bring your friends, that's how you get sticky free agents where they're not going to fall off because they don't know anybody in the league. Also considering running some advertisements, things like that to get the word out more to people who would be interested, because it feels like we've kind of met our maximum capacity of reach given the current methods.
Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up. So just put off some final messages and ask Gage his last three questions before me and Cam close it out. So, what does 2026 need to be for Twibble to take another step forward?
I think the goal is going to be the same as it was even before I was commissioner, where first and foremost, we care about the people within the league more than we care about marketing externally. I think if we have ambitions down the road of marketing externally, that'll come on its own by making the internal product enough where everybody enjoys to the fullest coming to the field every week, enjoys the product we put out, more content, more graphics, all that stuff. So the more we can create an environment internally that everybody loves, hopefully that can make the league sticky to where if you join the league, you're going to stay, you're going to tell your friends about it, things like that, and it will grow inside out rather than focusing on external marketing and then hoping to grow that way. So that's the plan. Um, which means the success this year is just making it the best year yet for the people in the league.
Yeah. Um, and then just I guess the final. I said three, but it's really just two questions. Just for any final messages.
The only real administrative thing I've got is once I get the schedule ironed out, I'll probably be sending out the new league year memo at that point. It'll probably be just a Google Doc I send in Slack. That'll have information about the rules survey format stuff. So keep an eye out for that. But I don't necessarily know when that will be coming. We do have a couple weeks, or excuse me, a couple months until the season starts. So we're not really in a rush for time. I'm doing a lot of meetings with a lot of different people, even beyond the city of Allen. So as results of those start coming to fruition, start becoming more concrete, I'll share more information.
Okay, nice. Okay, and then so yeah, thank you, Gage, for joining us. Definitely a pleasure having the commissioner on and the last year's MVP as well.
Yeah, of course. Excited for this show. Like I said, we're focused on making the internal product as best as possible, and that means efforts like these to make cool things that people in the league enjoy. So I appreciate that.
And thank you for allowing us to have this platform. It's definitely a honor to do that and to make this show and look forward to the season and doing the actual, I guess, point of the show is the predictions and recaps and stuff like that. So yeah, very excited for that. Cam, you got anything?
I'm just ready for the season to get going.
Okay, thank you, Gage, and so me and Cam will just close it out here. So just thank you for listening. Um, I definitely think this is a great first show to have. It's definitely gonna grow as we progress. It's gonna get better. Um, but yeah, I enjoy having Cam as a co-host, especially with him having experience from the last year's predictions and recaps, which I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed watching the takes, and I think we're gonna have some great takes over here as well. So, Cam, any messages?
No, ready to get to predicting.
Okay, thank you guys, and we will see you next episode.